the same bag as mine.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm hoping that the stream works, but yeah, I'm not gonna go back and check because it's a little bit late already. So we're doing Ghidra today. That's super awesome. Chris will explain more about it, but what?
I'm going to mansplain more about it.
He's going to mansplain more about it, and you're gonna love it, whether you like it or not. So, looks like not too many folks showed up, but I'm gonna cover the announcements real quick. Join committees, please. For the love of God.
I don't think their stream started.
Stream didn't start?
No, he's watching it.
It's see you next week.
So covered.
I mean, it is a little bit behind too, right? Sometimes.
Got audio.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, press the button. I think that all the words now.
I did. Oh, you deleted it?
Worth a shot.
It sounds like he's
Is there more exams this week to be going on? Let me know how that swap is over in a second.
Sounds like it's half an hour behind.
Yeah, I was just trying to.
I mean, the whole thing is going over on Fire. So.
Oh, it didn't. Your stream was so
It's rough.
good.
Okay, cool.
You got a stream.
All right, stream actually looks like it's working now. So, join committees, please. For the love of God.
Yeah, come to the exec meetings.
Yes, exec meetings are open Sunday. Please come. You're welcome, and there will be sushi, and that should be enough.
And beer. Sushi, though.
And beer, although not if you're under 21.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry.
Unless they give us free whiskey shots again.
That was a good week. Even though we didn't get our room, it was still really nice to get free whiskey.
I don't remember what we did.
All right, so bi-weekly lab events. Ryan set up a really nice socket programming tutorial. So if you want to go into the lab and check that out, you should. If you don't want to go into the lab and check that out, all of his tutorials are on our website, so you can check them out there. Let's see. We have dodgeball this last Thursday, and we will be having it again this week. Our dodgeball team didn't do so great last week, but there's
Didn't do so great.
Wait,
We lost 3-4. We almost won.
Okay, well, they did much better than I was aware of.
Yeah.
So we have another we have another game this week, and we're gonna kick ass.
Yeah, damn right.
So shirts. There was a post up in general for shirt orders. If you guys want a shirt still, check it out.
Did you guys fill that out? Everyone who's here that wants a shirt? Yeah, you did.
I did.
Shirt thing.
I was
Shirt.
Sweatshirt.
It's sweatshirt or t-shirt.
How much are they gonna run?
Yeah, how much?
I mean, we gotta figure out how many people want shirts, and then we can
Oh.
tell them a number of the order, and then based on how many we're ordering, I think that's gonna influence the price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, more
it's
people
entirely
on,
dependent on how many
probably
people
cheaper,
order.
yeah.
I get you.
And then Loveland High School outreach was today, and
Yep.
it was a success. Mike, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, so it went really, really well. I mean, so we basically showed them what we're going to show you today with Ghidra, which is a really awesome tool. We're going to basically explain more details about that later. And then we also showed some kids for the very first time what really trying to navigate a directory in SSH really was and what that meant. So some of them were a little bit mind blown, as expected, for seeing it for the first time, especially since a lot of them were not even computer science interests at all. Like they were just kids in a coding class.
None of them were any majors.
No, but we also showed them a really cool way to do a man-in-the-middle attack like at a Starbucks or something like that. So like basically use aircrack to kick somebody off of Wi-Fi, then you spoof that Wi-Fi so that they are kicked off and then try to reconnect, but they connect to your spoofed network, and then you use that to intercept their passwords and basically man in the middle. So we showed them that, and a lot of the people were really interested in that, which was really cool. Oh yeah, exactly. So, and then something else I wanted to share, just because I thought this was pretty funny. So today I was trying to get an excused absence for my class, and so I was reaching out to Franco to be my confirmation that we were actually at this event. And this is the email that he sent. It's hilarious how passionate he is. Confirm. Michael is performing urgently needed educational work with regard to the future of cybersecurity in the United States. The urgency of his work with his associates may not be appreciated yet by most, but it is nevertheless of utmost importance to ensure the future of security of the United States and the stability of our economy.
If Mike doesn't do this outreach, the U.S. will fall.
We are extremely lucky to have Michael and his associates as our students and involved in such important outreach. The day will come, may not be right away, when we will all give thanks that they were there when we needed them. So clearly our advisor is extremely passionate about what we're doing. All we needed to say is, yes, Michael is in Loveland doing outreach. But yeah, so it went really well. It was a blast. Hopefully you guys can join us some other time.
Whenever you refer to Franco, if you see Franco, you refer to him as Super Dude.
Super dude.
Not your super dude.
You do it.
All right, and I think that should be it for announcements. And then, oh, you changed that. What? Never mind. Chris is gonna take it away with
Every week. All right. Here's the weekly news. The first thing is there was a prototype iPhone security kind of hit the news. So if you don't know about this, Apple makes all of their developers actively use prototype products, which is just like the worst thing possible because they never work. However, a lot of the safety features, i.e. what's called the SAP, which is basically like the processor that locks down the whole iPhone when you have it as an end user. Anyway, those are disabled in the prototype phones. So there was a talk at Black Hat 2 years ago where I think it was the first people who jailbroke that model of iPhone that year refused to tell anyone how they were able to do it. So people figured out that this is how they did it. They were able to get these pre-jailbroken phones, basically, which are the prototypes from the developers at Apple. So these are gaining popularity with vulnerability researchers who are looking to break iPhone security because with the SCP not engaged, they have full access to the internals of the phone, including all the source code. Not the source code, the binaries, which they can reverse engineer, which we're going to find out is very easy now. Next one. All right, there's also a U.S. college data ransom. So there was 3 colleges, one in Ohio, one in Iowa, and one in New York, that had all of their applicant student information basically ransomware. I think the data was stolen or encrypted or both.
Damn.
And the price for each one was 1 Bitcoin, which is about $4,000 currently, like $3,800.
They only asked for 1 Bitcoin?
Yeah,
What the heck?
for the whole admissions
Probably
list.
some college student,
Yeah,
honestly. If you're gonna do that, at least ask for a couple million. Like,
at least 2
it's a
Bitcoin.
university. Like, they need F you money.
Yeah, I don't know. They're trying to keep it low relatively, so there's not a big investigation.
38 million.
Yeah. Yeah, so the data being ransomed was, quote, entire admissions file, which apparently there's just a single file. Maybe they dumped the database and then stole that and deleted the real one, like a fraud one, if that was how they're storing stuff.
So what is the status of that? Like,
They didn't say. They just said it was at ransom. There was no follow-up to this article, so maybe they paid for it.
This was on 380. So
3.8, yeah.
it is
they probably
13.
read.
So
They
it's
probably read the ransom price.
It's been 5 days. They probably paid it, to be honest,
Yeah, they
because it's
probably read the price
$4,000.
They're probably like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all you're asking for?
Yeah, I don't know if those colleges have cyber insurance. Do you guys know about cyber insurance? So if you get hit by ransomware, if you're like, ooh, cyber insurance, but insurance for the internet, that's a thing now. You can buy insurance, so people hit you with ransomware or like ransom demands like this. Your cyber insurance company will pay them, which is horrible because it only incentivizes crime. There's no like mitigation of any risk of any kind. It's bad. All right, and there's also a new IoT security bill proposed. So the IoT Cybersecurity Improvement Act. This was introduced in August 2 years ago, 2017. And it aims to basically add NIST recommendations as like the basic standards for IoT devices, specifically for the U.S. government, so not for all consumer devices. Were you guys here for our Aaron McCanty presentation, where he pulls out the $500 router and like immediately gets a shell on it? It was a good one. It was a good one. Anyway, yeah. So basically, when it comes to IoT security, there is none. That's it. And then the Protect Our Universities Act. Does anyone know who this is? Not you, Mike. This is Eugene Kaspersky. He was the founder of Kaspersky Antivirus. He still is. So there's a movement. What?
Still is the founder.
He still is. He's
He
still alive.
He lost foundership.
He's got lots of glamour shots if you want to see them. I wasn't joking about that. Anyway, this bill is looking to ban Kaspersky, Hawaii, and ZTE products from college research projects that are specifically in the national security interest. So if you're not aware, all of those companies have basically been banned from U.S. government use at some level, where basically all the companies are suspected of being operated by foreign governments in some fashion.
What if you wanted to do research on, like,
Kaspersky?
Kaspersky?
Oh, that, I don't
Like,
know.
what?
I think they mean just in like general use.
Yeah, just general use.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't read it. This is just the gist. Yeah, and all these companies are already banned from the U.S. government use at some level. ZTE and Hawaii are closely associated with Chinese government, and Kaspersky is like the #1 technology exporter of Russia right now. So we're going to jump right into Ghidra.
Infinity Dragon.
Infinity Dragon. This is their logo.
Why that doesn't call it
Ghidra.
Infinity Dragon sounds cool.
Infinity Dragon.
Hedra's a.
Why don't you ask the NSA to change it?
Yeah.
Michael.
Dear NSA.
Dear
Dear
NSA. Anyway,
We had
we
a
sent
CTF.
emails to the NSA.
That was the
with
best.
The NSA CTF, and Mike didn't know how to do a problem or had trouble
Dear
with the
NSA,
problem.
fix your
so
shit.
He
No,
emailed
no,
the
no,
NSA
no.
and started
Hold
off
on.
No, their
Dear
problem was
NSA, and they
broken.
freaking responded.
Their problem was
Hey,
broken.
I
They
knew
weren't
I
accurate
had
with
a
the
no,
script.
problem. I fixed I found a problem in their system.
It actually was broken, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just the email. that
I
Dear
found
NSA.
But yeah, I did address them as Dear NSA.
Dear NSA, fix your shit. All right.
And I think the guy responding even laughed and was like, yeah, like sincerely NSA.
Yeah, so Ghidra is a NSA developed software reverse engineering tool. So if you know what IDA or R2 or RA2 or Binary Ninja are, this is comparable to those. Although this has way more features because it's been in development for like 15 to 20 years. It's just had millions of dollars thrown at it.
It's good.
Yeah. And it was released as free and open source as of Tuesday of last week. Tuesday at like 9:40. I slept until 1 in the morning reading the manual.
That means they got something like way better.
Probably they have a lot of plugins for Ghidra,
Yep.
or
So-
they have a whole better version of Ghidra.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, let's just open source
The
this.
one they released is version 9. Nobody really knows what version is like classified because it's classified. So I've actually scooped this into a GitLab repo for us. Feel free to clone that with Git clone this URL.
Do you have Ghidra installed?
If you don't, who doesn't have Ghidra installed? Who doesn't have Ghidra working already?
I don't know how it works.
Okay. You need to download the Oracle JDK 11 as well because it depends on that. If you're on Windows, it's just an exe installer. Aaron, do you already have Ghidra running?
Yes.
Okay, good. I thought so.
Oracle J what?
Oracle JDK 11. Specifically number 11 for some reason. Probably because it's the newest.
It's funny, it's like most stuff works for like 8.
Yeah.
Except for this.
Except for this.
It's
Cutting edge.
JDK.
Oh, they just changed their licensing for version 11 so that it's open source or something like that.
Is it like the licensing of the JDK? Or, okay.
Yeah.
So if they just change the licensing for that and Ghidra depends on it, then we can probably assume that this is a newer version of Ghidra, right? if it depends
No.
on a recently open source?
I mean,
Licensing
it works pretty well
for open source stuff can be weird sometimes. Like you can't release some licenses if they depend on things that have different licenses. There are license incompatibilities. It's really weird. I think
Do you think they didn't
JP
open source it until recently?
GPL2 had this issue where if you released anything under it, you couldn't ever change the license without rewriting the whole thing from scratch.
Yeah, like what do they define rewriting as?
I don't know.
Adding extra spaces.
Well, Ghidra is also a product of the U.S. government, so they can't actually put any copyright on it. They can only release it publicly, so or classify it, which means not releasing it publicly, which is at some level kind of a copyright.
You get it? You know that?
All right. So we're going to run Billy Goat through this, just as a benchmark, because I think all of us know Billy Goat pretty well. So if you Battlefield 5, Cliff.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't played it.
Alright. Patel Cyber Challenge, nullsecurity.org. Alright. So, if you haven't done this challenge, this will be incredibly easy for you, comfortably doing it in IDA, because this is going to be insane. Go to this website and download this file. It is Battelle Cyber Challenge on battelle.org. It is the Billy Goat Challenge.
Let's wait until we get everybody up on Ghidra real quick.
Okay, just download this file as well. And then to run Ghidra, if you...
Wait, I just realized we're feeding the goat an old wise owl.
Yeah,
And a wizard staff.
it's hungry. It's a hungry goat.
And the dipping bird?
Dipping bird.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Perpetual motion
device.
Have you never dipped a bird before?
A bunny with a drum.
Oh, a
Sources of
those things
infinite
that
energy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Funny with the drum, I assume it's the Energizer.
Yeah.
What's the what?
We're feeding
Ghidra?
an energizer bunny.
GitLab.com /cyberUC /Ghidra.
Did you know Ghidra does not support 4K displays?
Does it actually not?
It does, it's just really tiny.
Oh.
They just didn't scale it properly.
Does it just do like the Ubuntu
scaling
thing
with
where like...
swing is a bitch, so.
Okay.
We tried to scale this from one of our laptops to the projector, and it was such a pain.
Yeah, we did this at a high school today, and it didn't
Like
scale
things
at all.
would
It
look
doesn't
so
zoom.
small. Like
So
I
we
just
basically
switched
had
back
to
to
like
something.
put it into graph mode and be like, everyone click this part of the graph now, and then go back to the code.
Oh boy.
It was good. All right. This is a CTF challenge from Battelle. Obviously, we're not going to like explicitly solve this challenge. We're just going to use it as a benchmark for Ghidra, because I think most of our members have solved this at least once. I've solved it 5 times today.
You've solved it a lot of times.
I learn something new every time.
if there was a way that Battelle could get like keep track of like when solves are happening, today would
You
be
just get like 10 at once, like
That's
every
right.
couple minutes.
What about during our CTF?
Chris did another demo. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're tracking us. I doubt it though.
How many downloads of the executable there been? It's like that's weird. There was like
Yeah, this
what was
high
the date of
school.
what was the date of the hackathon? March 3rd. There were like 30 downloads of our executable on March 3rd.
I put the executable on our instance of the CTF. They didn't have to get it from Patel. They could have though. I don't know. It's up there for anyone to see though.
I'm getting a
Yeah.
404.
And we have the flag because it's an easy challenge. What?
What was that called again? It was like GitLab.com.
GitLab.com /cyber@UC /Ghidra.
Oh, is there the ad in there?
No, it's just like AT.
Oh.
You cannot put an at symbol into a URL.
Once I saw this in Ghidra, this thing made so much.
Yeah. But like, you're going to see this in Ghidra. If you've ever used any other disassembler, you're just like, there's no point in going back. It's Ghidra now.
But
I still have like the pretty little layout and everything.
It does.
Like I have.
Yeah. Have you opened it yet?
I looked at the
Aaron,
actual
it's
assembly, but I
so
couldn't.
nice. You don't understand.
Chris,
Yeah, do you have an issue?
this is you know how to fix this.
I just installed it.
No, I know it.
Watch him go. Are you running Windows on the
Yeah.
Mac, sir?
Yeah. What?
That's what I do.
Is this a VM?
No, it's a boot camp.
Oh my god.
I hate you.
This is disgusting.
Personal level.
What?
Half that
You
was
do that
for
too?
engineering.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Dude, you boot
So
camp.
way far past that.
Not that
Yes,
hard.
that.
AJ,
This
what?
did the same thing.
AJ, boot camp. It's not that hard.
Screw Windows. I don't want to touch that nasty Microsoft shit.
Dude, for stupid electrical engineering software, you have to use it.
Variables.
You know what we should do? We should start covering weird PowerShell stuff.
Hey, I got plenty of that weird PowerShell stuff.
Me too.
I can talk about weird PowerShell stuff all day.
You probably got like a lot more like obfuscation stuff. I've got
Because I
like
see obfuscation of like freshest malware. Freshest malware obfuscation. So fresh.
But it's only like he's reading the corner of the door.
Alright, did it run?
It's just close.
See you in a second.
Okay.
Alright. You should see this, but not with Rob Emporium. Also, this doesn't scale well, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you got it.
Got it.
How you doing?
I downloaded it right now.
Hi. How you doing?
Alright. You're still getting set up?
How
Yeah.
you do?
Alright, we're gonna wait for you. Everyone's gonna stare.
9%. So what I can do about that?
Oh.
Did it work?
Oh.
Is it
Oh, it's government software. This sticker? Shit.
You wanna win big?
software menu.
You want to win big? I want to
We
win big.
just had it run like 4 different systems.
Don't try scrolling with the Mac
There's
on
one issue.
Hydra. It's just completely variable. Scroll, yeah, like if you open up a file and then start scrolling, it just does not. It'll look like rubber band back to where it was. But anyway, download that
Wait, is
Patel
that
Cyber
only
Challenge
with
file
the
too.
graph scrolling or like the scrolling?
The 2 fingers scrolling?
Just look
You
up
can change
Patel
the setting to that.
Cyber Challenge.
In
PATTELL.
Because
It's up
Macs
there.
have the scrolling
/cyber
Oh, is
challenge.
this your goat?
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah,
the first.
So
we're
if
just
you do it in
using
either
Go to,
direction,
like,
it'll like
baseline and
jitter back and
yeah,
forth,
like-
even if you're just going like in one continuous
Oh,
stroke.
yeah, you can't fix that. That's
No,
just,
it's like truly broken. You have to use the sidebar.
What's broke?
The scrolling in Ghidra on Mac,
Oh yeah, no, it's terrible.
it's a pain. Okay. So you should see something like this. Are we still waiting on you?
18%.
18% of what?
Of the download, I think.
What do you?
Of the Git clone?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's pretty slow.
touchpad.
It's not that bad.
It's just
Oh,
a little slow.
spicy.
It's a millibyte per second, or megabyte per second.
I just think they're going to throw it out.
What do
Sometimes it do be like that.
You have the GDK like installed.
Yeah, dude. That took like 2 seconds.
Can you open CMD? Just type Java C.
Who's there was?
Java C.
Java C.
No. Java C. Get out of here. It's not on your path.
Oh god damn it, this past shit. I had to do like I
Wait,
Python
where the fuck
for
you
it,
go?
fuck that shit up.
On Windows?
Boot camp.
I'm going to move on, but I can help you later, or P can, or anyone else can, or the internet can. So we have plenty of sources of information. All right. So
Go to your.
Ghidra operates on a project style layout. So if you want to add anything to it, it does. It's really weird.
No, I know.
You have to add a new project, and you can't add files into Ghidra without doing this first. It's kind of annoying, and IDA actually does it automatically per file. So we'll just make a new one called Goats, spelled wrong again.
Gouts?
Gouts. Yeah, I mistyped that like 3 times in front of high schoolers today, and they were like, they didn't say it out loud, but I felt it. Active Project Goats. Okay. I didn't realize it flipped the thing like that.
Oh, just click the dragon.
I know what to do.
Okay.
I did this so many times as a clip. Alright.
You don't understand Flip.
You don't understand
Well,
Cliff.
mine's
You don't
a-
understand.
It's a weird install. It's from the Arch user repository.
Right. So when you have your new projects, okay, you just want to hit the green dragon. Where'd it go? You just want to hit the green dragon, and it goes zoosh, and then it opens the actual Ghidra tool.
Alright, so now you got import.
That sounds like a drug reference.
What?
Hit the green dragon.
Hit the green dragon.
How's it?
72%.
It does sound like a drug
Actually,
slang.
give me some more.
That sounds wonky. Yeah, we know the context of that joke.
I don't. So Java C still not working?
You have to close and reopen CMD to reload the path.
That's my news.
It's in my brain forever. Just because of how
This is
much,
one of those things.
how angry Windows makes me with how it updates its path. Okay. Did
What
Ghidra-
is that? I don't understand what that
It's
When
okay.
you go to run something, it looks
Yeah.
in
So
all
your
those
path is
locations.
the folders that just running something will like look into first order for like exes and stuff.
is. Okay.
So if you type in where cmd.exe into CMD, it'll show you in your path everything it can find called cmd.exe. Where is actually probably the most useful command on Windows. Anyway, is Ghidra set up for you yet?
Is what? No, it's still. Oh, it actually just finished.
Okay. Do Ghidra run.bat, which is inside Ghidra _9.
Is that in command?
What?
where do I type that?
No.
Where does clones?
It's just a file that you run.
Where do you put Ghidra? Right there. Okay,
If you're on Linux, you just do Ghidra run. It's a shell script, but they didn't give it a file extension.
But we're on Windows.
You're inferior. I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
No. You won't be able to run Billy Goat though, which is fine because we're not actually doing that. We're just doing Ghidra.
Sorry, he's been facing these questions all day. It hasn't
I've
happened
been
yet to
facing
fire
the
back.
same 3 questions from like so many different high schoolers just continuously throughout the day.
You're inferior.
No. That's just Windows.
No, like tell high school.
That's you specifically.
Oh.
You're inferior. You're going nowhere, kid. Quit now.
All right. So if we're in Ghidra and we want to import a new file, we go to File, Import File, or we just hit I. It shows you a capital I, which looks like a lowercase l. I don't know why all the letters are capital by default, but they are. So let's go to Computer. Nope. Home. Feed the magical goat. Billy Goat. All right.
It's so.
Okay. So if you're running this on not what Cliff has, you will see it'll localize because it's using Java Swing, so the UI will look a little bit different, but overall it's pretty much the exact same thing. It basically only differs between Linux, Mac, and Windows. I've actually BSC might run this different. All right, analyze. When you first import the file, just hit analyze for everything, and can't really zoom in very well at all. Can't zoom in at all. What we see here is a lot of meta information about our file. So we see the project name, which is just our binary name, or no, that's our, yeah. It's not a read-only file. We have a program name. We have the compiler ID, which is, it compiled for x86, which is 32-bit x86, which says 32. Defaults, GCC was our compiler, or processor, which is compiler. Oh no, those are compiler. Processor x86, Little Endian, which is how the bytes are stored. Let's scroll down. It has a list of source files in our required runtime library, which is really interesting because most disassemblers don't really show you that very clearly. And it shows us our file format. That's nothing we don't know already. ELF32. All right.
You want to talk about Little Indian real quick?
Little Endian and Big Endian?
Yeah.
It's so Little Endian. Wow, it got really bright. Is the sun setting?
Yeah.
No.
Alright, so Little Endian means your bytes are stored from the least significant bit down to the most significant bit. And Big Endian is the exact opposite of that. It's arbitrary which one you use. It doesn't matter. If people say it matters, it really doesn't on modern systems because it knows. Unless you're doing like super embedded stuff, then it matters.
How do it know?
How do it know? It just know. Okay. So, something important to look at over here is our symbol tree. Imports, we can see what libraries we're importing. We're really only importing the libc shared object library, which is just basically default C. What? exports, these are functions it's sending out that we don't. Oh, I guess we could with that. Yeah. So these are basically all of our local functions that are accessible. Most important one for every disassembly is pretty much always main, so we're going to jump right into that. So if we look on the right side, we see just the standard assembler output. Scroll down a bit, we can see where our function starts. This is exactly what we would see in IDA on any other system. However, on the right side here we have what is basically a C code representation of the entire thing, which is super nice because we can pretty much copy and paste that and make only a few changes and it will compile, which is just insane.
Except for like the local variables and the undefined variables.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this very well. So we've got our stuff. Param1 is on C programs is just arg count. And then, oh, it's L to rename stuff, where you can just right click it, argv, argvector. We can just kind of rename variables as we dive in here. Alright, I'm not going to solve Billigo right now because we're looking at IDA. Not IDA. This one.
We all kind of remember how to solve Billigo though, right?
Yeah. So, if you didn't see that, I just clicked up here, this little graph looking thing where you can go up to Window, what is it, Graph View, Function Graph. And this is kind of the IDA graph view, but it's a little different because you can't switch it back into the inline assembly view. However, if we just highlight anything over on either window, it will actually highlight the corresponding code in every window and snap your focus to it, which is super nice. And also, I think it's Alt-E? No. Control-E.
So if you have trouble reading assembly, you could literally just highlight the C code and then read the C code, and then you now know what the assembly's doing.
Yeah, it's super nice.
How, can you explain? I forget. How does it actually go from assembly to C and back?
Oh, so when you take it to assembly, it doesn't actually go straight to x86, which is 32-bit assembly language for this processor. It actually puts it into what's called P code. So this is kind of an under the hood of Ghidra kind of behavior. I'm not sure if it's exactly how it does this. This is how the documentation kind of implies it's done. Is it disassembles everything, regardless of the architecture type, to what's called a P code, which is like pseudocode, which is actually an architecture that like the NSA entirely created, basically just as a hypothetical model, and then they translate that into your localized machine code. I think. I'm not really sure if it goes from the binary straight to machine code assembly. So from your binary to assembly, or from P code to assembly. But then it takes the P code and it runs it through like a billion filters, and then that gives you out your C code. So if you think about that as an abstract concept, basically what that allows you to do is feed in any binary, translate it to P code, and then translate it to basically any language, as long as that language still makes sense when you filter it. Does that make sense? It's kind of abstract, but if you think about it, they invented a language just so they can read other languages. Yeah.
Which is insane. They literally wrote a language to...
They made an entire, like, machine architecture that doesn't physically exist, that we know about at least, just to make this show up in C. Or at least that's what they're using it for.
To be fair, they had 15 years.
Yeah.
To work on.
Yeah.
So,
at least 15 years, probably. Alright, so if we look over here, we can kind of see this is pretty comparable to like the more advanced version of the intermediate language support that Binary Ninja has. We can see the individual function names, we can see strings are like literally just copied and pasted right over here. So,
so
let's go into...
So for those like functions, you know, like if you manned those, you would be able to see what they are.
By what?
If you man them, like man, sleep, it would just tell you what
man, sleep. It's not a command, it's a function in the C language.
Stupid.
What are you saying? Man is for manual, which is for Unix commands.
Well, but if you looked up sleep Linux, it would show you.
That's
you
not. It's not the same thing. It's similar,
the same thing?
but
There's
no.
no dumb questions, but Mike, that's a dumb question.
Sorry,
There are only Mike
Sam.
questions. No, I'm pretty sure sleep.
I'm just giving
The utility on Linux just utilizes the C language sleep, which is comparable but
It's
it's
like
not.
it takes in this input like single wire.
Yeah, but
So I was just going to ask, is there a way to see those like?
is there a way to see the C source? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
No, because if you click on any of these, this is how it's compiled. These are actually. Ooh, wrong one. Oh, it didn't focus.
Would I have to click it like multiple times? No data in function sleep.
No data.
It won't show you it, but sometimes it'll like freak out and send you to it. If it were to snap to it, you would just see a stub function that points to where the C library would be loaded, and then it literally just calls that function. Because
You
that's how
could
compiling
patch in C libraries.
Yeah.
When you analyze it, so you can add in extra support for stuff.
Yes. You could make it do really whatever you wanted if you like manipulate at the assembly level. But what it's actually doing is it's just forwarding that call to the shared object library that is libc. That make sense? Okay.
I did not do that. I spent $5,000 a year. This does it. It's free.
It's free?
This is free.
This is the best disassembler pretty much out there, and it's free.
All right.
When did you say it got released?
Last
Literally
Tuesday at
Tuesday.
9:40,
Okay.
and I stayed up until 1 in the morning reading the manual. Let's talk about the manual.
Okay.
So if you're ever like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You hit F1. Oh, not,
And you turn down.
you turn down your volume. No, you click on anything and you hit F1, and Ghidra will open its like massive manual exactly to the page of whatever you have selected. So if I had compiler selected or decompiler selected, which is the C code representation. So if I click over here on the graph view and it like actually moves the control, and I hit it again, it will show you the function graph plugin.
And gives you a little star too.
It shows you a little star. That's my favorite part about this whole thing.
You gotta hit Control and then hit E.
To show them that functionality.
You gotta go back to the idle plugin.
I'm trying to
Oh
find this.
shit.
Yeah, if you hit Control E, it'll kind of like do
These are
this
the,
little
the
dance.
most important feature of Ghidra, right here.
It'll show you where the focus window is.
Yeah. In case
Behold.
you can't see.
The NSA's budget. Yeah.
We need you to write a function that
That
helps
was
me
an
find
entire
my window.
intern summer.
Yeah, this is definitely an entire entrance summer. It's just this feature right here. It's wonderful. Zach?
I worked for the NSA.
Yeah.
too.
Nice job, Zach.
Nice job, Zach.
I made this thing dance.
So.
I can't talk about it
It's
until
classified.
Tuesday.
I made a classified window shake.
But now we can talk about it.
My
Now it's
contribution to
unclassified.
national security. Okay.
I can't wait
so-
for window shake in G.
Window dance. Wind dance.
Yeah, there's all kinds of other stuff on here. There's a console for scripting. I don't know at all how to use that yet. There's a GitHub repo going around. It's like Ghidra / Ghidra scripts.
Yeah, someone wrote a bunch of Python scripts.
Yeah, so Ghidra actually integrates very nicely with Python and a couple other languages, but mostly Python. So there might be some plugins floating around soon.
Who cares about other languages?
Who cares about other languages?
Oh,
You're
Python.
right. It's only Python. Rewrite Ghidra in Python, please. Just you, no one else.
Just me.
Just you.
On your Windows.
On with no.
Get right on that.
Yeah.
That's too far.
Go. You're taking it too far. Who am I zooming out? All right.
How do you get to that view again?
This view?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mine keeps different.
The graph view?
Yeah, graph view.
I selected main over here, and then I hit this. If you dive into another function, it will actually like live update which function view you're looking at, which is super nice. Let's look how like just easy this is. So string past.
What keyboard command do you hit to change the name?
Oh, it's L to rename stuff, or you can just right click it.
Okay.
It's just kind of like decode what is happening in this. So yeah, here's a fun fact about goats that I didn't know until today, is the input string, it actually takes it mutates all the characters that you input for like the correct flag, and then it outputs that as the flag. I didn't know it was dependent on the input. I thought it was just hidden in memory. Which is pretty cool. Does that make sense to you guys? It's kind of like a meta piece of information about this challenge problem.
So if you look at it,
Anyway.
you can see like
Yeah.
in string is getting manipulated by your input, which your input is going to be like
Yeah.
bar, P,
Yeah, your input string is just the 4 characters for that section that you pass in.
So that's how
Makes
you
more
get
sense if you
live
solve
in
this problem.
that goat life. It's all
Yeah.
4-letter words.
Yeah, the flag is 4 4-letter words, and there's 4 sections that take in 4 characters each.
So that's how you get live in
Wow.
that goat life.
Are you guys confused yet?
Yes, but that only runs. I mean,
Thank you for the dab.
that only works if you input the right characters in the right order.
Well, yeah, it has an if statement for every
Yeah.
single one in order.
And then once you get it, then it'll make the flag.
No, it doesn't store the flag in memory though. That's the point. It doesn't already have it compiled into the binary like a lot of them do. You have to like give it some data, and then it mutates that data and gives it back to you, which is really interesting. Anyway, that doesn't matter at all.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if we look in here, the return value is either true or false, which are 1 and 0 respectively. Undefined 4. Can we change that? No. Okay, undefined 4 is probably a boolean or an int. Anyway, moving back to main. AJ, how do I enable dark mode? It's not a joke.
Dumb.
This is the most important.
This is the most important part
Alright.
of this once top secret tool, is that if you go into
I believe you go to the main window. You go to
project tools,
tools. No. You go to project.
project,
You go to view project info. You hit dismiss, and then you go to edit, and then you go to tool options. Then you go to tool, and then you go to use inverted colors.
oh boy.
See, it's not dark mode.
No, it's dark mode.
And
Don't
then
worry.
you hit apply. It's dark mode.
It's literally dark mode.
Wait,
Dumb.
Okay, it's not dumb. You just don't like.
it
Okay,
actually
yes.
has dark mode?
Yes, it has dark mode.
Oh my god.
But if you call it inverted colors, it's not dark mode.
You can also switch the look and feel, which is the Java swing.
So for it to take effect, you have to close it and then start it back up.
Yeah. Hey, Cliff, I just closed Goats on your
Yeah,
computer.
type in Ghidra on the show.
Nice, it's on the path.
Yes.
What's a path?
What is a path?
Holy shit.
Oh, that looks so much nicer.
Look at that.
Behold,
My eyes.
my eyes hurt.
They no longer hurt anymore.
Is that not toggle?
You cannot decide to not show tips in startup.
It does, but you can't see it because the things inside of the checkboxes do not invert the colors.
Okay, that's terrible.
Okay.
Gotta love Java Swing.
Java Swing, dude.
That was like you can see the file and like the
I
headers.
just love that they chose the ugliest dragon.
All right,
they could.
this is the best dragon ever.
It's so pixelated.
Leave the art alone.
You know why it's Ghidra?
Leave Brittany
You know what
alone.
Ghidra is?
I would assume a dragon.
It is a dragon, but a special kind of dragon.
No.
A little pixelated
It's-
dragon.
Look,
Whoa.
it's got an animation. It's got lots of animations. It has way too many animations.
It has so many animations.
I mean,
And so it gets bored too.
You might need to analyze it again.
but
No, it works.
if y'all remember the movie Hercules as a kid growing up, the 3-headed dragon that he fights with the generating heads, that's
A Hydra.
called Ghidra.
No, it's a Hydra.
It's called
It's
the
a Hydra. Yeah.
Well, that's where it comes from.
No, yes, that's where the word Ghidra
That's
comes
where
from.
Ghidra comes
So
from.
Ghidra is like a misspelling of another language's version of the word Hydra. So
But that's where, yeah.
it was also banned in the 60s apparently.
Ghidra?
Oh,
See, I
yo,
feel like that's
wait.
wrong.
Yeah. No, that's facts.
Yeah,
That's-
I know.
That's facts, yeah.
I've never said anything that wasn't fact.
What's this?
And that's a fact. What's what?
Shut up,
I
Mike.
feel like it's harder to read.
Shut up, Mike.
That's
It's
a
dark
blue
mode.
on black.
The buttons
It
don't
doesn't
adjust
matter.
to
It's
Yeah, some buttons you literally cannot read.
No,
I
you
just
can't read
it,
it.
but it looks
You're too
pretty.
far away.
You guys are just stupid.
My eyes hurt.
You guys are obviously.
But mine is steps.
Where's my window? Oh my god! It broke it.
Keep doing it.
Dude, it lets you know.
Oh.
It really lets you know.
That
Oh my God,
intern did
that
not
intern
take
got
into
fired.
account that it got fired. Like, you did not implement it in dark mode?
That dumbass.
Ow! Like, who are you calling?
How do you do that anyway? Do you do the
Just kidding.
Control E.
No, I couldn't.
What if that's what Zach's working on?
Yeah.
I
Zach's
know
like,
how
oh
you
my
do
god,
it.
it's such a bitch to get the
Oh.
inverted colors.
Oh, he does not like it. He is not a fan.
Oh.
I'm adding this to our.
Which doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
Dear NSA.
Fiction.
And then but that's the best part though. When it said "Dear NSA," I responded with his name Mike, so I responded back saying, "Dear Mike, the NSA guy."
All right, that's pretty much like the extent of my functional knowledge of Ghidra.
It goes so much deeper than what we know.
Like,
Well, you can like double click on Phil Ruman.
yeah.
Oh, look,
Hey,
the manual doesn't.
the
work.
manual does not obey dark mode.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's why. It's because it's not dark
not
mode.
dark
It's just
mode.
invert.
No, it's dark mode.
It's dark mode, right?
Was
You
I
could
doing?
effectively use it in regular mode and then just invert your entire.
AJ, what were you saying? I'm ignoring
now-
you.
double click on a function and it takes you to the function.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's
Look
what I
at
did.
show them how to do the strings.
The strings. Oh yeah, we got to do window. They don't call it just strings; they call it defined strings, which makes sense
Right.
because it's like defined in the data. We have all of our typical imports and their libraries, and if we go down past the mangled crap, we have all the local strings, which is here and down, and then apparently ZR.
Check out the memory map.
Window
Yeah, window memory map.
memory map. Ooh.
If you scroll down, you see shit prog bits.
Where?
All around comment. Shit note.
What? That's not what that says. Okay. What else do we have?
But it shows you the read, write, execute,
Display bytes.
and everything, and
Yeah.
like the start and the end of the memory, which is pretty cool.
Display script manager. Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh, this is a lot of scripts.
It's so much.
Okay, we're discovering a lot of features. So the issue with this is we only had a week to prepare this content, and I only used 1 hour of that. And it was basically just reading the manual. Alright, so...
Hey, do you think maybe you could find out how to execute?
Oh yes, so apparently if you read the manual, there's a way that you can actually change the assembly code, which requires you to know some assembly, but knocks are easy. And then like as you type, you can patch the binary, so it'll like update the file on your drive, the exe, the executable, and then you can run it like from Ghidra. I haven't figured out how to do this. Our best guess was we found out you can select stuff and then right click. Not like that.
Here's something.
Oh, you gotta
cool.
be in the other view. Get out of here.
Here's something cool.
Yeah, so you can right click.
Bottom right.
Can you
corner.
right click?
Yeah.
I was
bottom
able to
corner
right
of the
click.
trackpad.
What? What is your laptop doing to me?
It's broke as hell.
Okay, you can right click, just not on this laptop. And then this nice menu of like what you can do comes up, and a lot of them don't make sense yet.
I got this.
All right, Cliff's going to show us his pro clicking
It
skills.
shows how to right click.
Boom.
Dang.
Yeah. So we can see data. I think that takes us to where it's stored on the binary memory map. Yeah. So create function, create multiple functions, create thunk function. I think a thunk is
It's gotta do
what we
with-
just said is like the pass to the C library
Oh
calls.
shit!
That's called a thunk. It's kind of weird. There's other words for it.
Who would have thought?
Apparently,
Yeah, who would have thunk?
Apparently, you can right click on the marker margin to learn the meaning of every color.
Nice.
Really?
Hey, go to the data type manager.
Did it where?
Down bottom left hand corner.
Hold on. I love this. You click through the tips, and it's one of the tips. The largest diamond that was ever found was 3,100.
Is that actually in the tips?
Yes, that is a tip.
It's
All
great.
right, go to data type manager, and then expand.
Oh, you can edit program bytes using Byte Viewer.
Yeah, Byte Viewer has a way to do it, and you can like patch the binary and then run it again. So on certain challenges in CTFs, for example, the easy way to solve them is like, oh, I don't want to actually find the flag, and you just skip straight to the end, which is crazy.
You can add URLs to comments to other documents.
So, but anyway, if you go to data types and you open it, any one of them, it doesn't matter, just open up one of them.
I can't get this to
Yeah,
be
but just
bigger.
click on Billy Goat then.
I was going to drag it up here. I'm
Did
sorry
you
if I
know-
ruined your Deidre install.
Did you know a cubic yard of air weighs 2 pounds?
Stop.
Who cares? Alright, so you can, these are like, identifies all the types
Oh, wow.
that use, right? And you can go to, like, right click, say, byte.
I don't think any of these are, like, all of these are actually used in a... Right click, did you just say? Flip. Yep. So, if you look at a few of those, especially the time
And go
imports...
to find uses of.
Oh!
It'll show you all the uses of certain types of data too.
Control-Shift-F.
And it shows you all the nice little uses of it. Thought that was interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I'm going to wrap up here because it's 7:30. Although I would like to point out, we import time.h because we seed random. And we definitely, like, in the code, it did not use the time t, which is like the struct for what a time representation is in C. But it is, you can see it's imported into the program, and we know about it now. Interesting. We used file. Ooh. Okay. Does anyone have any questions that I can't answer?
How do you execute?
I don't know how to do that.
How do you execute?
Oh.
Hit the play button at the top.
What? There's a play button at the top, isn't there?
A little bit to the right.
Yeah.
To the righter.
It just runs scripts.
It shows you a script.
It's a script manager.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah. I think it's one of the scripts that does it.
Some question.
I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but
There's a
I will
button
share.
in the script manager that says run script.
no, there's a way to like run the binary
Oh.
through.
Did you know that Hedra does version tracking
I did. Yes, I did.
and function tracking?
Alright, the version tracking is kind of cool.
It
The
is
fact that you can open up binaries of malware that you know has changed, and
Yeah.
you can see what they changed.
It looked like
and that's
it was-
in like the main project window.
Looks like there's also some plugins for taking malware samples from the same family and then categorizing them and tracking what had changed in their components versus like the entire malware at once. It was kind of like pretty deep in the manual when I saw that, so I may have read that wrong. But it seemed really interesting.
Type G. Apparently that is go to.
G. Oh.
Oh.
I don't know
You
any
go to
addresses.
Any line, and if you just put a star, like if you don't even know everything in that line, you can just hit something and then star, and it'll show you all the matches.
More works than this.
It works.
Do you guys know what slay is?
Slayer.
Wow, you can go to functions with that. G.
Yeah.
Main. I'm already at it. Let me zoom. G. Main. Okay. The
Oh,
sample
that's
is
so
back.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to fill reticulum. Or fill star, and it'll show you all of the fills.
Oh, that's so dope. You're not
See,
used to
these
stuff
tips
at all,
are pretty damn helpful.
All right. I'm done.
Yay.
Does anyone have any like closing questions?
No.
All right.
Deal. Thank you, Chris. GG.
I hope you guys all learned something, and if you
Oh.
buy the Binary Ninja license, rip.
So
That ain't me.
you can take snapshots of
Of
any
what?
window. So
That's
there's a
just
camera
good
button
tips.
that you click,
Does it like output it? Ooh, that,
and then
that
it
makes a lot of
creates a
sense.
snapshot
So
of
you can,
whatever
like,
you are using.
If you're working on a team or something, you can like highlight some
And
notes.
basically,
You
you
can
can also
snapshot and
jump
share it
back.
with someone over like Slack or something. So it's like it saves it to your clipboard, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can just show it to send it to somebody else who has the same thing, opens it up, and they can just see exactly where you're working.
So there's also, if you look in the manual, there's a way to have a shared project. I'm not sure if this is different from what's called Hedra server. So Hedra has a server that a component that you can like host on a machine, and I think everyone connects with like Hedra as a client, and you can all operate on the same binary. I may have read that wrong. I haven't used it yet. It also looked like there was a way to do the entire thing headless, which means like just run the command line, and I think that's kind of involved with the server somehow.
Oh, it's like the Python.
Yeah. No, it's all in Java.
Oh, that's what they said when,
I think it's-
when I was reading the Python stuff. It was like they use Jython.
Python. Yeah. Read
Python,
read
Java
the
wrapper.
the code is more correct than my statements about the code. So now, all right, we're done.
Did you guys know that
Oh, my-
a jiffy is an actual measurement of time? It is 1/100th of a second.
Mike's sitting back here reading the tips.
Dude, the tips are great. We learned a lot from the
Getting a
tips.
wealth of knowledge.
Did you know? Hey, you better not be unchecking that dark mode.
Racist.
The dark mode sucks.
Cool.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Is it just on your path? Like,
No, it's like
Retro-
installed as an executable. And that's
What are you are you running a KDE desktop on what?
I'm running GNOME.
Yeah.
No? Is that GNOME?
yeah, it's no.
It's just a really cooked out GNOME.
What? So it's GNOME
It's
on
GNOME.
what?
Like what OS?
Cliff,
Yeah.
what's this?
Intergos.
What?
What is that?
Intergos.
What's that mean?
It's Archbase.
Oh, it's okay.
Git Kraken?
Is that
Yeah.
is that a visual client for Git?
Oh God, no! Please no.
Cliff. All right. Okay. All right. Is anyone, we're done.
Don't ask if we have questions again.
Meeting's over.
All right. Thank you, Chris. That was good stuff. Everyone enjoy spring break. You
No meeting next week, obviously, because spring break.
You can display bytes in not just hex, but also octal, decimal, ASCII, etc.
But if you just play an octal.
Yeah, why the hell would you ever want an octal?
It just has the option.
All right, if you're still watching the stream,
You know, the
yeah,
interns that
right.
write those tips are like,
Yes, somebody's actually reading them. Just following what he said.